I'm Monika Carter of Fitness Science Incorporated. Welcome to my Fat Blaster Circuit. So today we're doing a series of 6 videos. There will be 6 instructional videos and 6 workout videos. So please make sure you watch the instructional videos first so you're familiar with the form and you know exactly how to do these exercises. These are very advanced exercises. Make sure you are not a beginner. Make sure you don't have any injuries before you do these exercises. They are difficult. They require a lot of stabilization. They require a lot of muscular endurance and stamina. They're excellent in toning different muscles and working your core at the same time. They will incorporate as many different muscle groups as possible in each exercise so that you can go through the circuit of only 8, yet work the whole body in that short period of time. And they're designed to be done in sets of 2 or 3, so you basically do 1 circuit if you're a beginner doing these exercises, not the complete beginner. Do 1 circuit, then build up to 2, eventually 3. That should take you probably 20 to 30 minutes altogether. There will be very little rest in between. You're going to rest only 30 seconds between the first and second and third and fourth exercise. Then 60 to 90 seconds, a little longer rest between the 4th and the 5th, and then another short circuit of 4 following exercises with 30 seconds of rest in between. So not much rest, but you make sure you drink water. You always have that 30 seconds to get some water. It's very easy to get dehydrated. These are very intense exercises. Make sure that you can correctly stabilize, that you're not a complete beginner, that you are able to complete at least a few repetitions of the instructional videos first and do them slowly to make sure you get the form. And if you can, then go ahead and start with the workout itself. So the exercises themselves are done very slowly. It puts more demand on the muscles. You will burn more calories this way. Your muscles will actually get more burn and more tone. But you will be progressing from one exercise to the other, as I just said, very quickly. So this is part 3 of our Fat Blaster Circuit, 3rd series of 8 exercises, and we're going to start with again a pretty complex total body exercise. It's called step up to curl to press. You're coming up on the step. Make sure that you choose the height of the step that you're comfortable with, and you're going to step up with one leg. We're going to alternate legs. This exercise will work your glutes, your legs, biceps, and shoulders. So you're going to come up to balance, so you're standing, balancing on one leg, then doing a bicep curl, and then turning to a shoulder press. So coming back down, right here, and down. Then change legs, one leg up, bicep curl, shoulder press. One thing that I want to stress, when you do this exercise, a good way to judge whether you're ready for a particular height of the step is when you come up, you should be able to use the glutes to drive the movement and your abdominals to keep your upper body completely upright and supported. So if you were to put your hands on your hips, you should be able to keep your upper body completely straight. And if you don't have that strength in your leg and in your glutes especially, this is going to look something like this, okay? So it's good sometimes to do it in front of the mirror, or if you even feel that that's what you're doing, that's not the correct form. So you might want to learn doing it this way, just coming back on one leg and then the other, or alternated, but just make sure that you're really using the glutes, the muscles that you're supposed to use, as well as your core correctly. Otherwise, this is can be pretty stressful on your back. It's called the eccentric push-up. Guys, you can probably do it, if you're strong enough, you can do it as a regular push-up. For a lot of people, especially women, I would recommend doing it on the knees. Eccentric basically means you're focusing more on the lowering part of the movement, which is always harder because your muscle fibers are lengthening and stretching. Eccentric is what makes you sore, what causes muscle soreness, and going slow, as I said before, is always harder for the muscles because the muscles all of a sudden have to decelerate the movement of whatever weight they're having to support. So So we're gonna start on the knees, and basically you're gonna come down in a perfect plank position, so as if you were doing a regular push-up, but you're right here, so from your head to your knees, you're in a perfect straight line. And then you're coming down on a count of 3. Just make sure it's like in a plank, keeping your glutes tight and your abs pulled in. You're going to start coming down on 1, 2, 3, really slowly. Hold it at the bottom for 2, and then come up straight. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and up. If you feel up to it, go ahead and come up on your toes, and 1, 2, 3, hold for 2, and then push, and again 1, 2, 3, hold it and push. Make sure if you're doing it on your toes that your lower back is not sinking, the butt is not sticking up. You should have enough core support to be able to even attempt, or rather to try to attempt this exercise. Okay, so the next exercise is for the back. You're going to have a little bit of bicep working here also, of course, on any kind of rowing movement. Bicep always works, as well as a little bit of legs and a lot of core. You're going to maintain that position on one leg in half squat. So if you do it correctly, your tush is slightly out, lower back slightly arched, and abdominals tight and supporting your back. You're going to actually feel it a lot in your leg as well. So I'm going to start it right here, and I'm doing the opposite arm, opposite leg. So I'm going to come down into a half squat position, lean forward slightly, and just make sure again you don't sink through here, you don't flex your spine. Think of always lengthening your spine as if somebody was pulling you up by your hair. And then from here, you're going to do a row, bringing your elbow close to your hip, and making sure the shoulder does not come up, okay? So right through here, straight arm, pull back, squeeze your shoulder blades together at the end, extend all the way, come back, squeeze, and slowly back. All right, so we're moving on to abdominals, and in all of these circuits, I try to put the abdominal exercises in between, just to give your other muscles like your legs and your arms a little bit of rest. Sometimes you would do the abdominals at the very end. Here, like I said, I'm trying to give you a little more of a break because you're working so many different muscles. And in most of these videos, you will have 2 or 3 abdominal exercises. 12 repetitions each. Usually, most people do a little bit more for the abdominals unless you're lifting heavy weight. But I'm sticking to 12 for the simplicity's sake, but also because we're using your core in so many different exercises here, pretty much in everything. So if you do them all correctly, your abs are going to be pretty tired, so you don't need a lot more than those 2 or 3 sets of 12 for each part of your abdominals. Okay, so we're gonna come down on the floor with the bar, and I have a 9-pound bar here. You can use something with no weight, but it will just help you with the form. All right, so we're going to start sitting with your legs bent, feet pretty close together, and you don't have to use the ball, but most people, when I do it with my clients, they start with the knees together, and then all of a sudden the knees start going to the side. It will actually, if you squeeze your knees together, it'll force you to contract the lower abdominals a little bit more. So this is just a good reminder. You can put a folded towel, anything soft between your knees. And I'm going to start again slightly wider than my shoulder width with the arms up, and I'm going to go down very slowly. Think about unfolding your spine 1 vertebra at a time, and from here you're going to start coming up with as little momentum as possible. And if you bring your feet a little bit closer towards your body, it gets a little bit harder, right? So I'm going to try to keep them about 90 degrees. Slowly back down, very, very slowly. And I never really relax at the bottom. I always keep the bar up. And then I'm coming back up, lifting. Don't forget to lift at the top. A lot of people finish right here. That's not correct. You want to finish up, lengthen the spine, and then very, very slowly, 1 vertebra at a time, keeping the bar overhead, and then slowly up, and lift and hold. So a quick remark before we move on with the next exercise, I am incorporating balance on purpose. There are a lot of different theories in weight training, personal training, and I'm sure you'll come up against a lot of them. One person saying this is correct, another one this doesn't make sense, and so on. I recently attended a workshop who was run by a pretty well-known athletic coach, and it was very interesting to hear that from his perspective, anything that was done with balance, even on the ball, which is so popular these days, absolutely made no sense. And I'll tell you what my take on it is. If you're stuck on a machine, it's not something that is very functional. If you're trying to build huge amount of strength, let's say in your legs, yes, doing a leg press makes sense because you can use a lot of weight. However, it doesn't really transfer that much to everyday life. To a degree it does because you need that strength. However, you're creating what I call stupid muscles, because you can only work them in that particular direction without using your auditory system, your visual system. All these different inputs are very important. They are called neural inputs. When you do different exercises on different surfaces, things like using equipment like the ball or the foam roll, you are actually teaching your body to react to different stimuli in different positions, and you're teaching your muscles to balance in different positions. So this next exercise is just a posterior deltoid fly. You could do it just in this position like we did in part 2 of this series, and it's very simple. However, if you want to work your glutes a little bit more, your leg a little bit more, and your balance, as long as you're not lifting very heavy weights. Now, all of these exercises are not designed for you to use heavy weights. This is not strength training. This is more of the, I call it fat blaster circuit, so it's designed to burn calories, bring your metabolic rate up, and help you lose body fat and tone at the same time. But these are not necessarily designed to increase strength. Some will to a degree, but many will not. So if that's what you're after, then you need to do strength training slightly differently. Okay, but here we're going to incorporate a little bit of balance. You're going to come down to a T position and bring your arms down, slightly bent at the elbows, and do posterior deltoid fly right here. Now you could do this, and it would be, for most people, probably the challenge would be enough if you just stand on one leg and then bring your arms to the shoulder level, slowly back. You're not squeezing between your shoulder blades because this is the back of the arm, so you're working your posterior deltoid here. Just keep the abdominals tight, square your hips, and then slowly back. And in the exercise video, we're going to do 6 on one leg and 6 on the other, so that we can have a whole set of 12. Okay, so this is a variation on the leg raise that I talked about in the series, in the previous series, number 2. So both legs are together. You're working mostly your lower abdominals. The other ones will stabilize you. Make sure you're not swinging. Okay, and this is actually an easier version for those of you who cannot do both legs together. So you're going to lift one leg up and bring your legs to a 90-degree angle. Another leg up, make sure your pelvis is stable, you're not swinging too much. And again, down and lift it up. Very slowly, hold, squeeze your lower abs, and come back down. Okay, so we're moving on to legs and shoulders again, a combination of those two muscle groups. We're going to do an anterior raise, which is bringing the arm almost straight, slightly bent at the elbow to about shoulder level, maybe slightly higher, and doing a lunge to the side. So if you watched video number 2 in this series, you will remember that the side lunge was coming back out here, down, slowly keeping your upper body as straight as you can, going back down again to the other side. And we're going to combine the lift here, so you're going to come down, keep your hands in front, lift the arm in front, and slowly back up, and the opposite arm goes up. And we're going to do it 24 times, so you have 12 on each side, and together. Okay, so the last exercise in this circuit for today is the abdominal side plank, so oblique plank with what we call pull through. So you're going to come down. If you're on the right side, your left leg is going to be slightly in front. I am using this position for the plank this time because I'm going to be moving my upper body slightly with a dumbbell, reaching underneath me and coming back out and extending through the back of the arm. So not too heavy of a weight, so you can go under and with good form, bring your arms straight back and slowly come under and come back. Squeeze the back of the shoulder. And again, as you notice, my hips are not moving very much. My butt is contracted, it's not sticking out behind me. Slowly back. You are going to feel that that intensifies the work of your obliques on the side that you're supported on, and it's quite a bit harder than just doing a side plank.